Hello, everybody. I can see you guys coming in now. So we're going to start right off. Quick note, seems like there might be some internet troubles that I'm experiencing or the other presenter might be experiencing. So be aware of that. If you do see a lot of lag and there's a lot of disruption, um, I'm sorry about that. We are going to send you a recording or at least a link to a recording. So you'll be able to access this at a later time if it turns out that the connection is a little choppy. These are quick, so be prepared for like a 15-minute discussion. And I'd like to welcome you all to our first weekly webinar. These are small, condensed training sessions, usually no more than 15 to 10 minutes, depending on the complexity, maybe a little bit more. They're gonna be every week, as the name implies. You originally got invited from an email that should have contained 3 additional webinars that you could join. I definitely recommend going through those and making sure you find the ones that are interesting to you. When we actually get over into the application, I will show you another way to see all those upcoming events, just in case you aren't receiving the emails or you want to check up on them at a later time. Once again, hopefully my internet's coming in clear and you guys can see it. We're working from home from now, as I'm sure many of you are. Stay safe during all this weird time. So today, we're actually going to be covering the event calendar, as it's called in Pilera, which is used for basic event tracking. A lot of our older customers may have been familiar with the legacy one, which was had a lot less functionality. This is actually a newer feature we've released. And just a little update on who I am. Many of you probably already know who I am, but if you don't, I'm Joseph McDonald. I've been working at Pilera for a little under 5 years. I started as a graphic designer and now a product manager. I actually worked on the calendar project with a development team. You could have seen me at a trade show. I go to a lot of the bigger trade shows to talk to our current customers, figure out if the application's working for them, what we can do to help improve it for them. I also have done a few of the webinars itself, or it's possible I've reached out to you about products you've requested or to ask a little bit of questions on projects we're currently working on to see if it'll meet your need and if there's any suggestions you guys might have. There's probably quite a few of you that I actually reached out for on the calendar, either recently or during the initial phase. So the event calendar is fairly new. It came out in November 2019. And so it's actually less than a year old. It's included with pretty much every resident portal product. And it's meant to track basic general events in your community. We will jump into the application to actually get into this. This is just a quick slideshow. Then in January of 2020, we did a big additional improvement to include the event calendar in our Easy Sites, the community website product. It's actually a much bigger accomplishment than it may initially seem, because even though it looks similar, there's a lot of additional code that had to be put into place for it to work in this specific context. It allows any resident on their community website to log in and see the calendar. And I'll show you how to introduce that into your community calendars as well. And then our most recent big update, there's a lot of smaller ones in between, was the April 2020 release. This is custom calendars, which allows for multiple calendars in a single community. And manager can kind of customize this calendar to have a different name and a different description. And then anybody viewing the calendar can filter the options. This comes included with the Board Plus. It is our newest release. If you don't have Board Plus or are interested in this, you can reach out to support@pilera.com and I will show you how to do that at the end of this initial slideshow. So quick introduction to events, pretty straightforward, includes a title, description, start and end date. One of the really nice things about our events is the send notification feature, which has some really cool filters on that, and I'll go into depth on that. And then obviously, like I said earlier, the send notification, which allows a lot of cool filtering by owners, tenants, buildings, streets, that kind of thing. Something that's also really unique about the send notification is that you can actually customize the subject line and body, as opposed to like the document library, which is kind of more of a generic email that goes out. So as I had said earlier, if you're interested in the custom calendars, reach out to support@pilera.com and they will kind of tell you the steps to get the Board Plus feature. The Board Plus functionality comes with a lot of cool things: architectural change requests, task management for board members, and a few other things. So reach out to support if you don't know about the custom calendars, and we'll actually jump into the application now and I'll show you all the product. So this is the calendars. Before we jump too much into that though, if you're interested in seeing the webinars, you can actually do that through the Pilera resources under settings. And let's just jump over to the Pilera training videos, just in case I click that too fast. Under other, there's the Pilera tutorial videos. So under the Pilera training site, there's a lot of really cool videos here to check out. So if you have any interest in work orders communication outside of these webinars, I definitely recommend going to the tutorial video site. But at the top of it, you can see these weekly webinars. Right now, we obviously have the event calendar. On Tuesday of next week, we're actually doing user role administration. I would highly recommend going to the user role administration. Our roles are kind of complex. We have a lot of them that cover different permissions within the application: board members, message admins, message monitors. There's a lot of complexity there, and it would be great for people to sit in on that and learn some of that. It will definitely help you use the application in a more useful way to you, to know exactly how all those permissions work and what they do. Then the following Tuesday after that, we have work orders, going over basic creation and life cycle of a work order. And then another very complex one after that, the reply to functionality. And this is allowing residents to respond to emails. There's a lot of complexity in the initial sending out of emails, how it all works. So I definitely recommend sitting in on that one as well. Once again, if you're interested in any of these webinars, you could check the email that we initially sent you, but you can also go under Pilera settings, Pilera resources, and go to Pilera tutorial videos, and you could find them all there. So let's jump back over to the real crux of this webinar, which is the calendars. So this is obviously very different from what some of you may be seeing. Some of you may be on the legacy calendars still. And if you do that, you'll see calendars new and calendar legacy if you're a manager. Residents will only ever see the legacy calendar if both are turned on. And then once legacy calendar is turned off, they'll see the new one. The reason we did this is so that management companies can go in, transfer all relevant events over to the new calendar in their own time and own fashion, and then they can reach out to support@pilera.com, and support will then turn off the legacy calendar so that residents will see the new calendar. So definitely make sure that you don't have legacy calendar turned on, because otherwise your residents won't see the new one. So once you're actually in the calendar feature, you can see here, this includes the custom calendar, but you have your calendar over here, and then the different calendar types you might have right here. Just like any normal calendar, you can switch between the months, switch between different views, seeing month, week, or day, and then you can see all your events down here in the actual month cycle. Creating one is super easy. Just like you might use a Google Calendar or another calendar functionality, you just click on the day. If you have custom calendars, you can select the different calendar to be displayed in. So maybe this is specifically about board meetings. You can create a name, annual board meeting. I'm not going to get too in depth on the description, but you can put any kind of description, what topics you might be covering, different kind of notes or anything that might be relevant to the residents or members reviewing this event. Then you'd select the date, start date, and end date, and any kind of start time or end time, switching between PM or AM as it's relevant. So let's just create that event. When you create the event, it pops up with the actual description. So you can see annual board meeting. The description is just a period because that's all I put in, but you can also see the date and time. And you'll notice that there's the edit event, delete event. Obviously, those are self-explanatory. And then one of I think the best features, the send notification. So if we click on that, just like our send announcement, you can select different streets, different buildings to distribute this message to, as well as specifically owners, tenants, others, or managers. So you can really narrow down who is supposed to be receiving this invitation to this event. You can then create a custom subject line. So we put one in by default, just a simple notification name of the event. But you can make that as advanced as you want. If you want to throw some smiley faces in there or anything like that, you can. And then you can customize the body as well. Once again, it comes with a default. This is a reminder of upcoming events. But if you want to throw additional information in there that's relevant, bring chips or whatever you feel is relevant to that body, but isn't relevant to the description, you can do that. And then it does come included the basic information for it, the period being the description, and then the date and time of the event. So over here, you do see the custom calendar. This allows you to filter. It's accessible to residents, board members, managers, etc. If they don't care about trash pickup, they just turn that off. It's no longer blocking their view so that they can see other stuff. If they don't care, maybe they only care about events, they can hide these, they can turn them on. So those are custom calendars. They allow for a lot of different granular kind of power there as well. To edit event, you just click on the event. Just like before, it pops up. You can send additional notifications. So if you want to remind them a week before the event and then the day of the event, you can just click on the event again and say send notification. Or if you need to edit the event, you can also do that here. Change what kind of calendar it is, change the name or description or start or end date or anything like that as things adjust and change. So let's just jump over to EasySite. If we go over to calendar, community websites, and then I already have it open here, but here you can see an example of a community website. Obviously, this is just a demo community, but the calendar looks just like it does in the portal, which actually was a lot more work than you think. It's not that we just dropped in the calendar and just magically worked. You can actually see some samples of that. Like if you click here, if you click on create a new event, you can see there's just some slight styling variations, and that's because it is a different code base that has different needs. But just like the application calendar, you can update events, you can edit, you can send notifications, you can create them, and anything that's updated or modified here also is updated and modified within the application itself. So they bounce back and forth. If you update something in the application, it's going to update on the EasySite and so forth. So there's no like duplication of data or anything like that. It is pulling from the same database and allowing your residents to either access the calendar from your community website or from the application. And adding it is super easy. Just click on edit mode if you have edit access. Click on the little plus like you're adding anything else. And then under Pilera portal modules, you'll see a bunch of them. You can put your document library here. You can put the marketplace here. You can put the ledger, but you can also drop in the event calendar directly in here as well. And you can see that here. So if you did not know, in January, we did release the ability to add your calendar to your community website. Next, let's talk about custom calendars, because I feel like that's definitely one of the interesting things. You find that under settings, calendar management. So let's click on that. And here you see a pretty straightforward thing. You got your calendars on the left-hand side. You can create a new calendar. You can change the name, description, and you can make it active or deactive. So if you want to remove a calendar without deleting it, maybe there's wrong data in it or something like that, and you just want to quickly get rid of it, you can deactivate it. So let's just create a quick calendar here. We're already almost out of time. 15 minutes goes fast. But to create a calendar, you just create a new calendar, give it a name, pool hours maybe, give it a description. Once again, I'm not going to add it, but it could say operational hours of the pool or something like that. It is a custom calendar by default. We only allow for one event calendar, but unlimited amount of custom calendar. Then you just activate it, create calendar. It's created. Let's jump back over here and refresh the page. And there you go. You can see it right there. It's got its own color. I can create an event just like I'd shown you earlier, pool hours. Just give it some basic description and stuff, give it the hours of operation. Just to wing it, let's just say it's 2:15 to 3:15, horrible pool hours, but maybe that's what they are. Create it, as you can see right there, it's created, edit event, delete event, send notification, just like before. It's got the green color, it's distinct. And when you hit pool hours, it goes away. And then when you turn it on again, they'll show again. So that is custom calendars. As I said earlier, I'm sorry if my internet wasn't quite working out. If it was a little fuzzy for you guys, we are recording this, so you will receive a video on it. And I look forward to seeing you guys in other webinars. I won't be doing the next one. It'll be a different staff member. You'll see a few of us shifting in and out, but I do hope you sign up for them. And one final thing, if you have any questions in regards to any of these things you witnessed, please reach out to support@pilera.com if you want to figure out more about custom calendars, how to add it to your Easy site, or just in general, how to turn on or off the legacy calendar so that you can get rolling with the new calendar for your residence view. That is it for today. I hope you like these 15-minute sessions. If you do, definitely please keep attending them, and we look forward to seeing you next week. Have a good one, guys.